Hey guys, this is Leo from Big Time Super Friends, and I'm going to review Alien Resurrection. Alien Resurrection is directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, and it takes place 200 years after the events of Alien 3. This ship, the Auriga, is housing a cloning facility, if you will, and they're using Ripley, a clone of Ripley, to birth the next breed of xenomorphs. And they've bred a queen, and they have them in these containers, and everything goes wrong. So I have a mixed feeling about the cast. I like half the cast, and the other half, I felt that the acting was subpar and sort of pulled me out of the movie. There's a character that I actually kind of like because of how over the top his acting is, but General Perez. Okay, General Perez is basically the military officer in command of this vessel, and he's at the end of everything calling the shots. There's a scene where, in the middle of the movie, where the xenomorphs have broken out by then, and everyone's trying to evacuate, and General Perez throws a grenade, or rolls one, into an escape pod where a xenomorph has trapped itself inside. And so he throws it in, and it gets jettisoned, and he's got the detonator, and he does this like little, like he doesn't know what's going to happen, and it's sort of, it's a little over the top. Like, it just seems so comedic. I couldn't take it that serious. It really made me laugh because it was just too silly. That was a standout character. Call, the reveal of her being an android. She seems to be a little bit more of an android, a developed android at this point, because they have a conversation where they explain that they're obsolete, and so she gets shot and then comes back and sort of rescues everybody by opening these doors. So I like Call. Ripley was another cool character. I like that they gave her qualities of a xenomorph, the acidity in her blood she used to escape several times and to progress through the ship. I also liked her behavior. It was kind of quirky, kind of weird. She was always sort of observing and studying the person she was communicating with, and she was sort of protective about Call, which was sort of, I guess, would be the human side, the Ripley side in that clone. So the storyline I actually really enjoyed. I know it's kind of weird to say it. I actually enjoyed the storyline of Resurrection, because to think that as a sort of a subplot, and that's the thing, this movie feels like it's a subplot, like a B movie, not canon necessarily to the original Alien and Aliens, and then subsequently I think it does end in Alien 3, and I think it does a good job of ending it. So this movie feels like it's a subplot and doesn't really... It's interesting to watch. The visuals, I think, are sort of where I have most of my main issues. The CGI in the movie, it kind of pulls me out of it. But overall, I think the story, I liked it. So the visuals, though, I had an issue with the xenomorphs. The beginning, if you watch the special edition, has this bug that has these xenomorph-like teeth, and so they sort of begin with a close-up of the teeth, and then as it pulls out, you see it's a bug, and it gets squashed. And so it looked too fake. And that sort of... Already, I knew what my expectations... Well, it let down my expectations of what it could have visually have been. The big problem I had with the movie was the acting. It really... Some characters were over the top. Others were actually, I think, spot on. And although, again, the CGI sort of messed up the visuals for me, the acting sort of just completely made me disregard the movie. At this point, I'm just watching it because it's part of the quadrilogy, and I want to watch it. One of the big plot points that I think also sort of... Unfortunately, the delivery doesn't match the idea, but I think it's cool that the fact that the Queen, since it's birthed from Ripley, has now the capabilities of having a womb, and now gives birth to the first human hybrid xenomorph. The thing about this xenomorph is that visually it looks disgusting. It's a terrible looking xenomorph. I think it plays into the fact that it's the first one, so I think it goes well with what it was trying to do. But it's just this weird looking thing that it's sort of hard to accept. The ending of this movie, if you watch the 2003 special edition, is, I think, a little nugget that I appreciated about this version of the movie, which is why I just don't watch the theatrical cut. But the fact that they land on Earth and it's a desolate Paris, and Ripley is clearly taking in the sights and probably assessing what has happened to Earth, because it's a destroyed Paris, and it's such a cool visual. It looks really fake, but the thought of, hey, this is a storyline that they could progress on, and a couple more points that they could hit on in a future movie or storyline, if they decide to take it after the events of Alien Resurrection. So with all these things in mind, guys, the story is great. I think Ripley's character and Call's character sort of protect the story, but the visuals and the acting, the CGI in some of these scenes, and the acting sort of, it really takes away from the storyline. So because of these things, I'm going to give this movie a C. Alright, you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you thought of this movie. Also, don't forget that I've done the reviews for Aliens 1, 2, and 3, and the links will be in the description down below. And also, keep a lookout for the future reviews of Prometheus and Alien Covenant.